Hi, it's Kit here. How are you going today? So I'm actually going to show you today how I create these pastel galaxy, one side pink, one side blue. I actually was inspired to do these nails for a sort of Candy Harley Quinn cosplay that I was doing, and I've also been inspired by my tattoos. So you'll see I've got like little stars and things here, but I tried to recreate this sort of design with the clouds and stars, but only on my nails. So if you would love to see that, I would love to have you, so please stay tuned. So before I do anything, I'm going to spritz my nails with a little bit of alcohol just to really prep them and kind of like dehydrate them in a way just so the gel polishes are going to stick better and last longer as well. And you can see I've already filed down the top layer of the nail just so it's a bit rough, and that's going to help the gel polishes stick to it as well. Because if you're using like a fake nail tip, it's going to be really sort of slippery and the polish might slip inside around. But yeah, today we're using Gelish polishes, so as always I've got my good old trusty Gelish Structure Gel, Gelish Top Coat. And I've got a couple normal colors, so I'm going to mix like a drop of these in with my clear top coat. So they're just by Color by TVN, so they're vegan polishes. Then I have Ice Queen, which is the blue, and Pretty EMZ, which is the pink one. So first I'm starting with my foundation layer, and recently I found out directions say on the bottle, but you're actually meant to cure the foundation layer for 5 to 10 seconds, so that's what I will be doing. The first time I ever tried doing my gel nails, I actually didn't know that you were meant to cure it, so I didn't. Okay, so now that we've done our foundation coat, we're going to cure that for 10 seconds. And next I'm going to do a layer of just clear structure gel from Gelish. So if you know how like an acrylic or a gel nail is a little bit thicker than just if you're using like a plain tip, the structure gel, depending how many layers you do, each layer is going to build it and make it thicker. So normally I like to do maybe 1 to 2 layers, or if you're not doing heaps of glitters and polishes and stuff which are going to make the nail thicker, you can maybe do 3 layers if you want. But you can even use the structure gel on your natural nail, so it's going to just create a smooth surface and feeling any like lumps and bumps. I mean, if you're like me, you will know that doing acrylic nails for like more than 5, even like 10 years can make your actual nail beds quite rough. So this is great if you have just sort of given your acrylics a break and you're just doing your natural nails. And with the Gelish Structure Gel, so if you're using an LED, you could want to cure it for 30 seconds. Or if you're using a UV light, you'll want to cure it for 45 seconds. Okay, so here you'll see what I'm doing. I've actually got a couple drops of my top coat, and I am doing 2 drops of each of the colors. So first I'm starting with the pink, and you can do more or less drops of the nail polish as well. If you do less drops, it will kind of give you that translucent jelly effect, or if you do more drops, the color is going to be more opaque, so the more that you use, the brighter the color will be. And one thing as well when you're doing gel nails, you want to make sure every time you do a layer of gel, so you'll want to cure that layer. Depending what polishes you're using, it'll all be a different like cure time, but it will say on the back of the bottle, or like I have edited in my video the time which it takes for the particular polishes I'm using. But yeah, in between each layer, so after you've cured the nail, I like to wipe it off with alcohol. So that's gonna keep the nail from getting sticky. It kind of has like a tacky residue on it, which is gross. So if you see me taking a little cotton pad in between each color, that's what I'm doing. So now I'm doing a second layer of the pink as well, just to make it a bit more opaque. As you'll see here, it was quite a translucent pink, so it was almost like a very, very pale baby pink, but I wanted it to be a little bit brighter and not as see-through. And when working with gel polishes, you always want to use a synthetic brush. So synthetic brushes are really easy to clean with any nail polish remover that you're using. So here I've got my Anastasia Beverly Hills glitter. This one's called Pink Sapphire. So I'm popping a little bit on my paw palette, and I haven't cured my nails yet, so my nails are still wet. So that means that the glitter is going to have something to stick to. If I cure the nails, the glitter isn't going to stick as well. And I've just got this random fluffy brush from Model Co. I got it at Priceline. It was only a few dollars. But I don't really use it for eyeshadows, so it's the perfect brush for using on glitters. And then I'm gonna cure that 60 seconds. And we're back. So now I'm going to take just a clear top coat and encapsulate that glitter inside. So what I have kind of like a top coat that has been contaminated, one that is only for my glitters, and then I have like a good one that doesn't have any glitter chunks or anything in it. So every time I'm going up over top of like glitter, I will use my not so great kind of old gel bottle because it's already got glitter in it, it's a contaminated one. And then for other projects I will use my clean one. But yeah, no matter what you do, there's always going to be a little bit of glitter get into your bottle. I try to minimize it as much as possible by even using like a clean brush and not the actual brush that comes inside the polish bottle. But no matter what I do, it always gets in there. You know, they say glitter is the herpes of the makeup and nail world. So now we're going to do the same exact process, just with the blue polish. And the reason I've done this sort of one hand pink, one hand blue is to coordinate with the Harley Quinn wig that I have. So we're going to transform ourselves into Harley Quinn later on. So after we do 2 layers of the blue polish, and remember the second layer we don't cure it, so we leave that blue polish wet, and that's going to give our glitter something to stick to, so then we pop our blue glitter on now. We're going to cure that for 60 seconds. So we're just going to hit that with a clear top coat, cure that another 60 seconds. And here, like I said, I'm just giving my nails a wipe to get any of that sticky residue off from the gel. I'm gonna give all my tools a clean, so wipe off my brush. What I do, I just spritz alcohol into the brush, and then you'll see here I'm just wiping it in a sort of like circular motion onto a clean paper towel. And I do the same with my little palette. I just wipe it off to make sure I get all the glitter and everything off so the polishes aren't going to be contaminated. Then filing away. So with the glitter, it can be kind of chunky, okay? It kind of like, if you imagine when you're on the beach and you get sand like in your clothes and your shoes everywhere, and it feels like you have sand in your shoes for like weeks and weeks, you can never get it out. So, and it has like that really sort of grainy texture, you know what I mean? It's sand, right? Glitter is exactly the same texture. So if you think having just like the straight up glitter on your nails, when we encapsulate it, it does make it a little bit smoother, but not perfectly smooth. That's why we want to file it down to get that really like smooth surface too. Otherwise, I don't know about you, I'm really OCD about it. I hate touching my nails and they feel rough. I love a really smooth sort of surface. That's why even at the end, no matter what, I'll always do 2 top coats too. So that's gonna make the nails even smoother. And I haven't invested in a electric sort of nail file yet. I'm a bit scared that I'm gonna cut myself and then it's just gonna be like a big bloody, literal bloody mess everywhere. So I'm a bit hesitant to try it out, but I'm curious, but at the same time, I know me and I know I'm gonna like amputate a finger or something. But yeah, that's why it takes me so long as well. If you have an electric file, it's gonna speed up the process so much more. That's why they use them in the professional salons too. But I'm just a wimp. So here I've got a white gel polish from Opallac gel nail. So this is called Fluffy Bunny. What I didn't realize when I bought it, it's actually a translucent color. So it's not a solid white. It's kind of like sheer, so you can still see through it. That's why I needed to do so many layers to sort of build it up to where you would be able to actually see it. Otherwise it looks pretty clear. So right now I'm going in and creating sort of like cloud, almost like watercolor technique. I'm just sort of putting a drop of the white polish on my nail and moving it around in the pattern I like with the brush, and then once I'm happy with it, I will cure that nail for 60 seconds. And learn from my mistake, guys. I didn't in this video, but I do recommend that you cure each nail individually. So after you do the nail art, like on one finger, you'll want to cure it straight away. And then move on to the next finger, cure that finger, next finger, cure that finger, like that, rather than doing the whole hand and then curing it at the end. Because by the time you get done with the very last nail on your hand, the thumbnail or the whichever nail that you did first is gonna sort of be like melting and slipping inside, and it's not gonna look as clean as the last nail you did, which is still really fresh and in place. So that's why I would recommend doing that. But yeah, I haven't done this before. It's all trial and error, just sort of experimenting. And I'm not putting the clouds all the way across the nail because I don't really want them to look like stripes, so they're not exactly perfect. I'm just doing a few like randomly on each nail. You can space them out as far as you want. And so with the clouds, I've done one layer, I've cured it for 60 seconds, and then I've gone in and done a second layer on the clouds, and then I've cured that. So on each hand I did 2 layers for the clouds, but if you're using a more opaque white polish, you probably would only need to do 1 layer. So now I'm just with a bit of alcohol spray, just going to wipe down the nails again before I start adding my stars. And these turned out being more like sort of like jelly, like bubble nails. So if you don't want them to be as sort of like bubbly and textured, I would definitely suggest not using as many coats as I did. So with the stars, I think in the end I ended up doing about 3 layers, but I've sped it all up so you don't have to watch me do that. It would be pretty boring process. And first what I've done, I've taken this little eyeliner brush that I've cut some of the hairs so it's really fine. This one here is from Medusa's Makeup, but I used this to sort of initially place where I wanted the star to go, so kind of like a guideline, so it's a little bit more sloppy. And then the next layer I actually will go in with the dotting tool to get like a really precise, like clean line on the stars, and go in and do all that detail work later on. And I did 1 layer with the brush, and then I did 2 layers with the dotting tool. If you don't want like a bubbly textured nail, so the stars and clouds actually were raised and they stuck up a little bit on my nails, so you could actually feel them if you run your hand across them. Some people find that annoying, but for me, I just thought it would be like really cute. Not the most practical nails, but definitely one of the cutest. But yeah, if you would prefer a smoother nail, I would say don't use as many layers as me. So for the clouds, I'd probably only do 1 layer, and then for the stars, maybe like 1 layer as well. If you're using a really opaque white nail polish as well, that's gonna help, because that's where I went wrong, using the more sort of translucent sheer white polish. I definitely wish I had a more like pigmented white for sure. And with the dotting tool, so how I started out, I do one little dot just in the center of the star. So that's going to be the sort of largest, if you imagine like a mountain, that's gonna be like the highest point of the mountain, right? So that's why I start there. And then what I'll do with my dotting tool, barely even touching it, I will sort of start, if I either want to go straight across or if I want to go up and down, I'll pick a direction. So normally I'll go like through the middle. So I'll have my dot in the middle, and then that's the sort of biggest blob of nail polish is there. And then with my little tool, what I'll do, I will sort of slowly pull a little bit of that polish down one side, and then I'll come back to the middle and I'll pull a little bit more of the polish down the other side, and then I'll go back to the middle and I'll do the same thing with like the top and the bottom as well. And it's almost like a cross, so it's almost like you've got your little blob of nail polish in the middle, and then it's not as much polish, it's almost like kind of ombre, if that makes sense, or just not as much polish, a lot in the center, and then yeah, as you get further out, it sort of dissipates and blends. And I've done maybe like 2 or 3 stars on each nail, no particular like order or placement. I just wanted them to be kind of random. I've done a couple over top of the clouds, but then I have some that are in the gaps where I didn't have any clouds as well, so it's just sort of like just kind of really abstract and cute. And then I've added a couple just little dots on the nails just to add interest. So I've done maybe 2 or 3, 4 like on my thumbnail. The bigger nails I've done more of the dots, but again, not any particular order, just sort of like how you would imagine there's little like twinkles in the sky. So you know, you would see your big stars, but then on the side you would see like little twinkles of stars that are like further away. That's the sort of galaxy illusion that I was trying to create. And after I cure the stars, so I do a clear top coat on each hand just to really preserve and lock all the art in so it's not going anywhere. And that's also going to make the glitter that we've put inside the nail even more sort of like blingy when the light hits it. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this nail art tutorial. I haven't tried anything like this before. It was a lot of fun to make. I'll definitely be doing more sort of like bubbly nail art in the future. It was so much fun. It kind of reminded me of the icing on like the gingerbread man. Like, you know, that little guy from Shrek, and he's like, not the gumdrop buttons, no. That little guy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day or night, whatever time it is in your part of the world, and I will see you next time. Bye!